Welcome back to Napoleon Total War 3. Last time around we actually defeated Napoleon in a battle here. It wasn't at the bridge, it was somewhere here actually. Napoleon marched in around here and we managed to defeat him. This time around it's time to surrender Ney, Marshal Ney, and take on his army. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult since he has a little bit better troops, where it looks like that, to the outside anyways. We're gonna have the best general with the creations go ahead and lead the attack, and the rest will follow. So without further ado, let's go ahead and fight this battle, shall we? So let's go ahead and see what troops he actually has. A lot of light troops, we got a howitzer, we've got actually similar amount of cannons there. So that'll be interesting. They've got a lot of light troops. They've got a 6th light infantry, a special unit. So that might be hard to deal with them, but in terms of otherwise, the infantry doesn't look, there are no grenadiers or anything like that. And then the cavalry is mostly light cavalry. It's the cuirassiers that could be dangerous. And yeah, we'll see what we can do about these bastards. And we'll get the full support of everyone. So 8,000 men will turn up for this field. What I'm going to do though is I'm just going to switch so that guy comes before this one, because this is a tired army. Also, I don't want the generals to turn up first. We probably want something else to turn up first, like that. And I think that's enough. So with that said, let's go into the battle, shall we? Surprisingly enough, it is actually a... Well, not surprisingly, actually. They were quite close to the river crossing, but I thought that maybe it wouldn't actually be a river crossing battle. The enemy, however, holds both sides, and they've actually deployed a few troops on our side of the river. It looks like there's 2 infantry units, the 32nd, the Invincibles, and then they've got the... is this a howitzer? Yes, it is the howitzer. Then we can see the general on this side. Let's actually move my general forward here, because as I move him up, we'll see some more troops that the enemy has placed. So it looks like a lot of their troops are actually placed on the other side of the river. First concern will be to defeat the guys on our side, to crush them completely, and then go ahead and cross. The main crossing point will obviously be over here, so I've made a special unit just to move forwards and sort of make sure that we hold it so they can't reinforce the guys stuck on this side. So we've got the 2 Croatian units, so the Croatian General and the St. Georgia Infantry, or the St. Georgia Grenzer Infantry, backed up by a reserve unit, and then we've got a squadron of hussars moving that way, and then we'll have the rest just a line move forwards, try to deal with these guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start. Move forward with the cannons. We start with holding the high ground above the river on our side, so that will be nice. We'll have the cannons move forward, and then we'll have the line. If I could select all of them, doesn't really want me to, and we'll have them marching forwards. I'm gonna tell the general to retreat the first thing he does. We're gonna move these guys. Should actually probably have columned them up so we could gain or get there as soon as possible. So there it is, and have the hussars move forward. The howitzer is within range of the enemy howitzer, so why not just deploy it? The cannon, however, I want to move that a little bit more forward before we deploy that and start shooting at the enemy. We actually have someone turning up on the French side of the river, but it's actually the wrong general. So this guy shouldn't be turning up on this side of the river. It should be, I believe. These guys are also turning. This guy should be turning up on their side. This guy shouldn't. We're gonna tell him to retreat. So we've got quite a bit of cavalry turning up here, which would be nice, but right now I'm gonna hide them in the forest, and then they're gonna aid by charging these guys. It's a bunch of light infantry, so that should go pretty well. And the battle has started with, looks like quite a devastating mortar shot landing right in among the enemy troops. You can see some smoke. I can't see the hole though that is left after it, and seemingly it didn't really kill anyone, which is a surprise. And we did get some reinforcements here, 2 reserve infantry units. You know what, we'll tell them to retreat. They're not gonna do a lot for us during this battle. They're not deploying the howitzers for some reason. I think it takes a while for them to get their shit together. Clearly they're doing stuff on this side, and they're moving the infantry around, but I don't see why they haven't gone ahead and deployed the artillery. Right, so all the cavalry is going to be hidden here in the forest. There's a lot of it. And I would want to just focus on this first before we go ahead and strike here. And with that, I think we'll actually set them to target going across. Is that even more? Yeah, that's the cannon. I thought there was going to be even more cavalry coming in on that side. So they're splitting their troops and sending them all over the place. I'm not entirely sure if that's a great idea, but it's probably due to the AI wanting to create like a line. They always create that line that goes sort of perpendicular to our line. And with having troops on either side, they can't really, the AI can't really think of it as 2 armies or 2 units. So they'll try to get these guys to come back to this side. I'm not entirely sure why they even deployed people on this side. And you know what? Before these 2 units get away from us, we'll charge them. So we're sending the more numeral units, so the Kalmak Cuirassiers and the what's it called? The Homburg Hussars. So we'll send them in, and we're about to come into musket range of the enemy. We'll hold this one, tell them to turn. What's this? Schwarzenberg. Didn't I tell Schwarzenberg to retreat? How did he die? Schwarzenberg wasn't one of the good generals though, so it doesn't matter that much, but it's unnecessary for him to die. Oh, the enemy is moving troops or cavalry over. So the Alvinsis are forced to form into square, which is not going to go well because we got enemy unit firing straight on them. These guys lost a lot of men gaining ground to the point where they can actually fire on the enemy unit. We'll have to have these guys come a bit more forwards. I would like to, you know, gain morale by reducing the width of the unit. But given that I don't want to redeploy them in front of the enemy firing at us, and also if I make the unit sort of in a sort of thicker formation, it's probably going to cost me a lot of manpower. Right, drop this square and start to shoot at the enemy. The 2 cannons insist on, you know what? Why don't focus on that unit? Focus on this unit instead. Bloody cannon is not gonna Oh, what's this? Oh, shit. Shoot, I completely forgot about... that. So I unnecessarily lost 50 men out of the Karl Mark unit. Unfortunately. But that's the thing, you've got a lot of things on your plate as we're attacking the enemy in multiple locations, and I'm obviously also doing commentary at the same time. I was gonna say, you know what, we'll send these guys into a charge, but this is a reserve unit, so that wouldn't work too well. This unit has actually lost 100 men roughly, but not that much of a surprise since they were forced to go into square while the conscripts fire on them. Well, this is not gonna go. The young guard bloody flankers need to go. Probably should have charged those guys earlier. We'll see if the grenadiers can charge this unit. And then the enemy cavalry is coming again. The bad bloody cuirassiers. I do have my hussars. Well, the enemy is spread out, so it could work. They will gain local superiority in this region of the troops because they're so spread out. So it could work that way. Nice, these guys were done for, so I want these guys to move up, start shooting the enemy in the back, and then I want this unit to walk onto that one and kill those guys. And my cavalry were able to deal with the enemy over here, so retreat. Redeploy up towards the hill. The light units are through, and they've got 2 cannons with them at this point. So these will move this way.
Under attack.
Okay, charge in, give some leeway to the Alvincis. And since it was a flank charge and the enemy was spread out, the horse guard is actually breaking. And saving me from total disaster as the Alvincis are saved. Time to charge the enemy. Get rid of them. We'll have the Alvincis charge, so they'll make up for losing so many men. And we can proceed across the river. Try to at least. The enemy cuirassiers were utterly destroyed, so we don't have to worry about them. And this unit's about to get destroyed as well. Cannons destroyed. And I actually didn't need to charge. Just sustained fire from the grenadiers at this close range is breaking the enemy. But I still actually want to charge, so we'll do it. There's like just a few French guys on the flank there were standing looking at it like, oh, aren't we gonna reform? Aren't we gonna do anything? With the grenadiers charging into our flank. And this guy finds himself alone and strangled. And the grenadiers have done it. Better tell the artillery to hold fire and make ready to redeploy. And then we'll move across. Oh, what's this? Before everything goes absolutely to shit over here, we're gonna stop the men and start to fire at the enemy. And it's time to get everyone over. This one might come back, so I'm gonna get the hussars to deal with them. We're gonna get these cannons. They're not gonna be able to join It's gonna take too long to get them over, so I think we can place them up on this, fire over across towards the enemy. And then we'll have these 3 infantry units line up here. We've got the large cavalry unit ready to move across. The general hiding in the bushes. And yes, that should be everything. So everyone is ordered to do what they're supposed to. The 3-pounder. 3-pounder, where am I gonna place you? Just play, yeah, you know what? Place them here. It's probably gonna be nice. And the howitzers there. Okay, the enemy, the Bretons, were broken. However, we've got a mighty unit of French hussars closing in. And I want to split the units off a little bit and then form them into square. They might be going for my artillery. So we're gonna send those guys away a bit. And the hussars get stuck in between the squares. Losing quite a few of their men, but it's not enough to completely break them, so these guys are gonna come back. But continue to gain ground though. The 12-pounders get up on this high hill, and the infantry will follow. You know what? I do have cavalry. I'm gonna get... Oh, this is the Kalmak. I thought it was a smaller hussar unit. This hussar unit is very veteran. And get this one, get those 2 to deal with it, and then have these move over here. We'll set up an artillery position to bombard the enemy down here. This unit is still actually stuck in like their where they've just placed everything on the same area. Okay, ooh. Let's see. Can you run maybe, Albinsi? And you'll be able to get into a position where you can form square there. No, there. There. Right, these hussars or these chasseurs à cheval aren't gonna make it, are they? I've got the general close by as well, so he can support the men. And now as the fire starts, start to fire at the enemy. I'm gonna be able to break them that way. Oh, what's happened here? This unit needs support. It's going to break. So we'll do our best, try to
the men are fatigued,
fight
sir,
the enemy over here.
While.
It's not gonna go too well though. Drop the square. Everyone kind of broke here. But I think we want to move the cavalry over first if we are to cross this area. And now my attention is needed over here. So the unit, they held out long enough for the reinforcement cavalry to turn up and send the enemy away. But now they need to hurry over here and save these hussars. Since even though they're very veteran and they've got a lot of chevrons, they're not going to be able to hold out against an enemy guard hussar unit. But just in time to break them. And the enemy's cavalry is more or less all gone at this point. Right, so my cavalry to continue up here, follow the enemy as they retreat off the map. And with that, I should be safe just to set up the artillery where I want. Well, we want to get them around the forest to bombard the enemy. The light infantry units will turn towards that forest and see about shooting the enemy there. And just as I say, I was just about to say the enemy hasn't rallied here, so I can move across. And then they rally their hussars. But we're gonna send over our hussars, and hopefully this should be just fine. Oh, the artillery is in position. The howitzers and the 3-pounder should be able to bombard this area and start to break up these this very strange formation. And given that we're close enough, I think it's time these guys went into line. Oh, you know what? This was a reserve units. We're not going to put them on the front line. We're going to put the 2 Grenzer units on the front line, and then have the reserves backing them up. And we're about to get some nice fire going. We just
victory, sir, is soon
upgraded
to be yours.
to get the barrage ability, so we can barrage them as well. Get some quicker reloads. Ooh, that breaks them up. Now they realize they need to move. Damn, some really good explosions there. And ooh, I realized there were a lot of them. I don't think I realized there were this many of them. You know what? We're gonna get the infantry to go over because the hussars will take forever. So I kinda need more infantry. We've got another 3 infantry units, but they're quite far away. And even though I really wanted my 12-pounders on this side of the forest to get a better arc of fire, I think we're gonna have to set them up here just because the enemy is right over here. And maybe I can get the reserves to set... You know what? No, we'll have the reserves actually stay with the cannons. Because I bet these guys are gonna have to do a fighting retreat back towards the cannons. We do have a hell of a lot of cavalry here. These 2 hussar units, exhausted, not going to be able to use them. The O'Reillys, however, the O'Reillys hiding here in this sort of dent in the hill. We can hide down there. The Karlmarks, not Marks, the Karlmarks. Really wounded, so we're probably not going to use them. Go ahead and deploy these. Yeah, we're losing quite a few men here against the enemy light infantry. I'm going to need those cannons. Right, start falling back. And hopefully we can get these guys to come in and aid in this fight. And hopefully I can get my hussars and my line infantry across this bridge before the enemy line infantry is ready to block us from getting across. So we're retreating the Croatians under heavy fire, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be worth it given we've got a lot of heavy cannons here ready to aid in this fight. And we got quite a few infantry units coming up as well, with a veteran hussar unit being ready to charge in. Oh, they're opening fire on us. Luckily for me, they're actually forming square. Thing is, you're gonna have to run into position now because you're coming under fire. And I'm gonna tell the hussars just to charge the enemy. We're gonna get the general across to aid them. And maybe, you know what, hold fire with the artillery so we don't fire at the Croatians as they retreat. And the O'Reillys, possibly want the O'Reillys to charge the enemy Chasseur Cheval. Is the enemy charging? Countercharge them. It's an absolute mess right now when my hussars and the enemy trying to fight here. At least the hussars are now getting across. We want to maybe gain a bit of ground and then push as much fire onto the enemy as possible. And the general is about to come across as well. Oh, he is already across. And the hussars are across. And these guys are needed to move into line here. Prepare to shoot at the enemy. The 12 pounders. I want some canister to be sprayed at the enemy. These three needs to get into line. The hussars over here. That will be nice. Sweep in through there. The O'Reillys. They're actually redeploying a large part of this force to deal with the guys we put on the bridge. And they're only leaving one Lightfoot unit to fight us over here. So we'll see how well this will go for them. Not entirely sure why you are not firing at the enemy. Same with you. As the enemy is moving forward to meet us here. Gonna extend the lines a little bit. Got a lot of enemies moving forwards. Let's see if we can't get the enemy to die on the front of our infantry units. And as they do that, I can send my cavalry forward to chase them away. Oh, Garde Nationale, perfect target for the O'Reillys. And the French removed so many troops from this region that I'm pretty sure I can go ahead and advance my troops again. And the Garde Nationale shouldn't be able to form squares, should they? So the O'Reillys charging straight into them should be able to break those guys. And with the cavalry going through there and the enemy coming on, you know what, let's charge. Then let's see if we can't get these three in column to charge straight through all this light infantry. And as the cavalry sort of hangs on to the side there. And, oh, you know what? The National Guard actually did form a square. Charge toward the enemy there instead. And then we'll have the creations just absolutely murder this square. We'll have the general join in there to aid them. The enemy cavalry will actually be sandwiched. Very nice. The enemy are ready to break here, so charge them. We're charging as well with the aid of the general, supporting his troops. Oh, I actually sent the reserve in first. Possibly not that clever. We're gonna be able to break this one, the 25th. And hopefully... Oh, I don't think we're gonna be able to continue with much success. So we're gonna have to hold and fire upon the enemy. £12, round shot, and open fire. Gonna prepare for another cavalry charge. The Kaiser Franz Hussars are active, so that should be make for quite the good charge. The creations charging down the National Guard, and they are actually within range of these guys.
Our men are running, sir.
We can't charge straight into that. What we can, however, is charge straight into that. And there's a bloody cannon that I missed. What unit is retreating? It's the reserves that came under fire here from the Voltigeurs. We're actually kind of in a bad angle here towards the enemy. We're gonna go ahead and retreat there. I like the fact that they're repositioning themselves to have the line facing this way when our men are over here. This looks like this could all just be forced to retreat within seconds. Right, let's see by breaking the incomparables and have the cavalry join in from the flank. These guys, even though they're not really on the fire, are they? Yes, they are actually. From these guys. Their morale is really crap. But the general held a quick speech, or handed out Mountain Dew, and now they're back, ready to fight. Ney and his men. Let's see. He's probably. Oh, I thought. Is he the old guy, or is that just a? I guess it's this guy. He's moving first. Moving in front of his own men, so that his own men are allowed to shoot some of his bodyguard. Oh, what's this? A tiny unit of guards. 16 men charging a fresh unit. Oh, they break even before we contact with them. Bloody hell. Charge over here. The O'Reillys are exhausted. Let's move them back a little bit. I like my men over here. Their morale is breaking, even though no one's actually shooting at them. It's only the French general that's riding in front of them. But still, they're really unhappy with their situation. It could just be for the fact that, oh, actually, a 12-pounder shot just bounced through the unit. That's rather dangerous, actually. That could lead to me shooting my own general. So that needs to stop. The enemy's turning. You know what? Let's try to stop them from being able to set up and fire at us. And let's see if we can't gain some ground here. If the O'Reillys can just hold these guys, stop them from firing, we can have everyone move forwards and try to end this fight. Time to tell the artillery as well to hold fire. Charge! Oh, the O'Reillys, even though they were exhausted, they were actually able to break that unit. And Marshal Ney is about to get cut down here. I think. He seems to be cutting our men down, actually. There he is. No, Marshal Ney is escaping. And that's the only guys that are left, so that's his bodyguard. They're escaping the battle. But there we have it, we are victorious. Right, just as I thought. And with that, we should have done all the battles for this turn, so it's about ending turn once this is over. But I think we can just go ahead and have that be done for the next episode, or in the next episode, or in between the episodes. And then we'll start afresh in the next episode with movements to be made and see about where the next full stack of the French are going to attack. But first, of course, you guys want to see the statistics of this battle. So let's go ahead and check that, shall we? And here we have it. I deployed 11,000 men against his 3,000. So there wasn't even any way he would be able to win this. We lost 1,200 men, and he lost most of his force, only leaving 300 men still there. Highest killers, the O'Reillys, then the Alvinses actually got pretty high, even though they took a lot of casualties. 2/3 of the unit was became casualties at the battle. They were able to inflict 241 kills though. Then we've got the Croatians here, 200. Who did poorly? Someone that did. I mean, most of these weren't used, as you can see. They weren't. They didn't lose anyone. I'm not entirely sure how I lost my. Yeah, obviously the Cuirassier regiment, Karl Mack, did really poorly because I forgot about them. The artillery, not a lot of kills. The number 51, yeah, they took a lot of casualties firing at the enemy. So obviously they didn't do too well, but there we have it. Let's see what happens. Oh, let's see here. Karl von Schwarzenberg, dead. So we're gonna have to put another general in charge of these. So when you don't have a general, that means that they cannot resupply the army. So it's probably best to just move, or try to move as many of the broken down units as possible into the town, as I cannot be able to, or I'm not going to be able to replenish any of these. And then we're going to get the cannons to join this army, so we can replenish everyone. And yeah, that's about it for this episode. Most likely we could see this one. I mean, he has the possibility of attacking Milan, so that I guess would be the main choice, given that we have the 2 forward full stacks that was sent forward with Napoleon and the Marshal Ney were destroyed. Most likely I would suggest for him to retreat, giving up the momentum for us now as we destroyed 2 full stacks. But most likely the AI is going to push forward, and this army is actually the one I've been worried about, because as you can see, it's old guard units, marine guards, carbineers, really heavy units, old guard, artillery, lots of grenadiers, flankers and so forth. So it's going to be dangerous army to fight. With that said, however, hopefully he'll retreat and it pushes the momentum, or the momentum back in our favor, or the initiative back in our favor, and we can go ahead and reconquer this, and then possibly even move into France. Moving that forward into France gives us another region that we need to hold. We also need to hold this one, and then the main place in France. So right now it's not looking too good for the French, given that I just destroyed 2 full stacks for them. With that said, however, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!